Hello, my friend, and welcome to the study. It is a misty morning here in the village, and today's video will be a very calm and relaxing tribute to Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who died on Thursday. So we will look at some of the letters of condolences and messages from a few of her over 600 patronages and charities. We'll look at a few pictures, photographs from her life that show her unique and timeless elegance and inspiration. And we will also write out the speech from Emmanuel Macron expressing his condolences to the people of Britain for the loss of our dear monarch. So it will be a nice, relaxing morning, just you and me in this study. Here we have the condolence from the Victorian Albert Museum. We are deeply saddened to hear the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, as the world mourns the loss of our much respected and dearly beloved monarch. All of us at the V&A also extend our heartfelt condolences to the royal family. Queen Elizabeth II exhibited a grace, elegance, dignity, patience, and love throughout her life to not only the people of Britain, but the people of the world. She had an innate understanding for what was important to people, and in the larger picture, she had a steadfast devotion to duty, to her country, to her people, and to her life in service. And what a life it was. It is in her and in her service that history stretches to meet the present, and we have an appreciation for touching the ages, for bringing out our best. And truly, Her Majesty can be said to have left the world a better place for her having been in it. Her Majesty supported over 600 charities and organizations, from animals, agriculture, elderly and retired people, history, heritage, healthcare, business, industry, children, young people, faiths and religion, science, technology, social causes, community, arts, culture, professional institutions, sports and recreation, social clubs, and the armed services, just to name a few. From the Royal Yachting Association, like so many around the world, we are deeply saddened by yesterday's news, the loss of Her Majesty the Queen. Known for her sense of duty and her devotion to a life of service, Her Majesty the Queen has been an important figurehead for the UK and the Commonwealth. She has ruled for longer than any other monarch in British history, becoming a much-loved and respected figure across the globe. In 1948, Her Royal Highness Princess Elizabeth, Duchess of Edinburgh, and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, were listed as new members of the RYA, known then as the Yacht Racing Association. It became the Royal Yachting Association in 1952, when Sir Ralph Gore, then President, spoke of Her Majesty's recent command that the name of the association will in future be the Royal Yachting Association. The royal family has a long history of seafaring. Over the centuries, the monarchy has sailed aboard 83 royal yachts, including the most recent, Her Majesty's Yacht Britannia, which often hosted the RYA Council meetings during Cowes Week. Chris Preston, chair of the Royal Yachting Association, today said, "Like so many around the world, we are deeply saddened at the loss of Her Majesty the Queen. Her patronages and charities have covered a wide range of issues, from opportunities for young people to preservation of wildlife and the environment. It was an honour for the RYA to host Her Majesty the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh on a trip to Cowes in 2012, where they were introduced to a number of young onboard sailors who were enjoying the opportunity to try sailing and windsurfing. Having Her Majesty as royal patron alongside the support of her husband, His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh, as former RYA President, and her daughter, the Princess Royal, as our current President, has undoubtedly helped us to raise awareness of our aims to increase participation in boating, to promote safety afloat, and to raise sailing standards. Her Majesty will be sorely missed, and we offer our deepest condolences to our President, the Princess Royal, and her family." From the Royal Shakespeare Company, we are deeply saddened at the news of the Queen's death, and our thoughts are with her family, and particularly His Majesty the King. Her Majesty the Queen was a patron of the Royal Shakespeare Company from 1961, when the company was created. It was a great pleasure for us to rehearse with the former HRH, the Prince of Wales, in preparation for his poetic tribute to his mother on her 90th birthday in 2016. Shakespeare's Henry VIII contains a prophecy by Archbishop Cranmer about the baby Princess Elizabeth I. She shall be, to the happiness of England, an aged princess. Many days shall see her, and yet no day without a deed to crown it. Translated to our times, Elizabeth II sought the happiness of England with her steadfast service, certainly lived many days, and did a great deed on every one. From Henley Royal Regatta. The stewards of Henley Royal Regatta are deeply saddened to learn of the death of their sovereign, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. In 1851, the stewards of Henley Regatta requested from the Prince Consort the honour of a royal patronage. His Royal Highness Prince Albert graciously consented, and, upon his demise, Her Majesty Queen Victoria agreed to the continuance of the royal patronage, and accordingly it has ever since been generously renewed by each monarch upon accession. The continuance of this royal patronage by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II has been cherished by all associated with Henley Royal Regatta, and her selfless devotion to the people of the United Kingdom and the rest of the Commonwealth is a quality that we in the rowing community recognise and respect. The competitors, members, volunteers, staff and stewards of Henley Royal Regatta join the entire nation in mourning and salute to Her Majesty in her exemplary dedication to duty. They offer their heartfelt condolences to all the royal family. They raise 3 cheers in presenting their respects for Her Majesty's brilliant achievements in developing, establishing, and maintaining standards that are so highly regarded throughout the world. Long live the King. From the Royal College of Music. The Royal College of Music today sends condolences to the royal family following the death of Her Majesty the Queen. Professor Colin Lawson, director of the RCM, said, "It is with profound sadness that we learn of the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who served as president of the Royal College of Music from 1943 to 1952, and then patron from 1952 for the entirety of her 70-year reign. On behalf of the students and staff of the Royal College of Music, I send our deepest condolences to the royal family, especially our President, His Majesty King Charles III, who will lead the country in mourning." Her Majesty the Queen was a proud champion of classical music throughout her life and showed unwavering dedication to the Royal College of Music throughout her reign. The French President Emmanuel Macron delivered his condolences in a lovely speech, which was very touching, not the least of which because he delivered it entirely in English, which was quite unusual for him, and I think quite a show of respect as well for Her Majesty. I shall read it to you in some excerpts as we look at some photographs from the Queen's life. From French President Emmanuel Macron to the British people, his statement of condolence. Dear citizens of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, aujourd'hui nous sommes tellement tristes. It is with great sorrow that the French people have learned of the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Her wisdom and empathy have helped us all to steer a path through the historic ups and downs of the last 7 decades. With her passing, we all feel an emptiness. Millions around the world saw the images of her coronation and were captivated by the young leader who already exhibited such strength and courage, the courage of life marked by the war, and soon courage to uphold from one century to the next the values of freedom and tenacity. Her rare and powerful words, her unwavering dignity, made her the constant symbol of the United Kingdom. We are grateful for her deep affection for France. Elizabeth II mastered our language, loved our culture, and touched our hearts. Monsieur Macron speaks of the Queen as a great head of state, with a devotion to her people and a close ally, representing a long, warm, and sincere partnership between Britain and France. Further, he says, "To you, she was your queen. To us, she was the queen. We will remember forever the values she never ceased to embody and promote, the moral fortitude of democracy and freedom, At this moment, we send our heartfelt condolences to His Majesty the King, the royal family, the British people, and all those who loved the Queen and will miss her so deeply. Nous sommes avec vous," which is a very beautiful expression, I think, and a lovely piece with which to write. Now I'm going to write out Monsieur Macron's condolence in French, and we'll use our good old Rhodia paper and appropriately some French ink by Jacques Herbin, the Amethyst de l'Ural. It's one of the series from 1798 historical inks, and also Imperial Purple and a steel nib pen. So that's a nice wood sound there. And there's our ink with wax on the cap.